just once you're standing, I want your hands, just one to come onto the abdomen, please, and the other one to come onto the chest. Heels are directly underneath the hips, and just spread your toes really wide. So you're just aware of that ground, really trying to increase the surface area of the contact you have against the ground. And we just start to take the breath into the body. Try not to change anything too soon, just an awareness of your breath. See if we can just make ourselves a little bit taller. So just that suggestion that maybe the crown of the head, you feel as if it's being drawn towards the ceiling. Feel a sense of softness in the shoulder blades and this kind of smile across the collarbones, really widening through the front of the collarbones. When the breath comes in, we invite the breath to the abdomen, to the ribs and the chest, filling your body with your breath, almost like you would fill a vase with water. It goes to the bottom and then fills us up all the way up. And then like a sigh, just that softness out through the mouth. It's quite an intentional exhalation, breathing out through the mouth. And then when we inhale, we grow, feel the body widening, expanding. And that sigh to soften. Let the heart feel like it's coming down into the abdomen. Let the ribs just feel like it's almost being hugged from the back ribs round. Then hugging round through, and feel that sense of the navel coming towards the back of the body. We don't pull it back, just notice how it naturally draws back. Just notice the breath. At the end of your next exhalation, I'd like you to just pause and hold the breath for 2 and 1. Then bring the breath in. At the top of the in-breath, pause. 2, 1. Exhale. At the end of the exhalation, for 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the breath in. Feel the abdomen rise, the ribs expand, the chest expand, and hold that breath in there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and let the breath out. Way out. Hugs ribbing, ribs hugging you, navel to the back of the body, lifting. Feel that sense of lift through the pelvic floor. Hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel the body. Pause. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the breath out with a sigh. Let the hands come to the side of the body. And we're just going to run through the divine line, a really important part of our body mapping. We start at the ball of the big toe. That line travels along the inside border of our foot to the heel. So just visualize this line. And remember, it's an energetic line from the inside of your heel. We get this sense of lifting up the inside of the legs all the way up to your inner thigh. And just bring your attention to your sit bones here. And it's almost like you're just gently gathering the sitting bones. And this brings a sense of widening, lifting of the pelvic floor. The lower abdominals lift up towards the navel, but then go into the back of the body and travel into the back, comes up the back of the back, through the length of the neck, comes into the base of the skull and over. So the back of the body, we start to move into a little bit. Just start to notice the space behind you, that lifting through the inside of your legs. Then the peripheral line, the little toe border of your foot. And then we're going to feel like we're separating the ground. Notice how the outside of the foot is pushing. We notice the outside of our shins, the outside of our thighs, and it comes all the way up to our hips. Feel like the hips are being pulled away. At the same time the hips are being drawn away, we still have that sense of connection here, just widening in the pelvis. Then from your hips to your lower ribs, see if you can get a little bit longer. Then up into your armpits, we draw down to the little fingers. Just know like you've got a pair of crutches under the arms, and really lengthen out. Keep that smile across the collarbone. Keep the width in the back of the body. I like to use that visualization of the hooded cobra here. So the back of your back comes wide and long, creating the stability. At the same time, those armpits are drawing down. I'm going to bring your attention to your heart line. It comes from your heart center, comes down the front, across the front of the body, down the arms and to your middle finger. So this is our heart line that we open into. The crown line starts at the crown and comes down the side of the head, along the side of the neck, down the arms and to the thumbs. And there we are. So we've got that crown line. So my peripheral line from my armpit to my little finger, I draw down. From my heart to my middle finger, I open. From my crown down to my thumb, I lengthen. So here it's almost as if we can place our hands into big gloves. So I glove into my upper body, widening, lengthening, my crown of the head lifting, my heart opening. As I think about these lines in the body, I'm going to transfer my weight through my feet. So we think of the balls of the feet now, and I'm just going to bring my weight onto the ball of the foot and then onto my toes. From my toes, I transfer to the ball, front of the heel, heel, and the back of the heel. From the back of the heel, I come to the ball, and the heel, sorry, front of the heel, ball of the foot, and then the toes. So I'm just moving myself back through those 5 points of my feet. Heel, front of the heel, ball of the foot, toes. From my toes to the ball, front of the heel, on my heel, and then to the back of the heel. From the back of the heel onto the heel, front of the heel, ball of the foot, and to the toes. From the toes, I move back, ball, front of heel, heel, and the back of the heel. This time, as I come forwards, I'm going to start to turn my palms. And as I come into the ball onto the toes, I open my heart. My middle finger lifts and my heart opens. Then my thumb comes down and my crown of the head starts to come down. My gaze to the navel and I lean into my back, keeping my throat above the pubic bone. Transferring the weight forwards, I open my hips, I open my heart, and I inhale. I let the thumb come down, weight transfers to the heel, bending the knees, softening and curling forwards. Coming into the front of the body, I open, bring the breath in, open your arms. Then the thumb through my crown line, bringing it down. I move into my sacrum, my bra line, base of the skull. Think of the front of the body, pubic bone, breastbone, third eye space, lifting. Into the sacrum as I soften the knees, into my bra line and into the base of the skull. Think of that elastic band across the back. Coming in and move into the front of the body. Find the front And then the out, find the space behind you. This is our last one here. Remember, those arms feel like they're being pulled out of the armpits, lengthening. Bring your hands all the way above you and your palms together. We're coming into prayer hands. My palms are together. I cocoon my body, so my armpits wrap around. I lean into my heels again, my knees soften, and I pull these elbows in, really stretching across the back. Then I stand in the legs, weighting to my toes, inhaling to grow, gaze lifts. Exhaling, leaning, gaze comes down with me, pulling the elbows in. Just notice that I'm not bending forwards at the hips. I'm tucking tail under, finding my sacrum. And again, breathing in and into my front line. Breathing out, leaning into the back of the body. And then just stand in your legs and just find that point where you're just in front of your heels, not quite onto the ball of your foot. Then your right hand is going to come up and across the body. Think of your left hip staying still, so try not to twist that hip back too much. Right hand comes across. As I move my ribs, I spiral. As I reach, I look under my right arm and my rib draws me round, and then I lean across, push with the heel of the hand, and the arm comes down. I spiral the left side, trying to keep that right hip forward. I move from my back here, from here, round. Then I turn, and then it's my rib that pulls me across to the left. Heel of my hand pushes and comes down. Let's do that again. Breathing in to come up, and that right rib pushes, elbow, wrist, and down. Other side. Inhale. Under and leaning across. Push that heel of the hand away and come down. Both hands come up through center. So I round and I come up. I let my hands keep coming up. Then when my arms lift, I then unravel, elbow, open the arms and push the heel of my hands away. Pull the fingers up towards you. Then back into the heels, I curl, coming up through center. I inhale, unravel, and push away. One more time, rounding into the back of my body, coming up as I grow and push into the front of my body. Let the left hand come down, and the right hand is going to come around and behind you. I cloak my body and I open my hips, ribs, and I reach back down. Other side. Left hand starts coming around behind my right shoulder, and that in-breath comes into the front and softens. Again, round. And then hips and ribs, I open and come down. Left side, round, cloaking, and bring it into the front of the body. Standing back to parallel. So your heels are back underneath your hips. And we're just going to bend the knees. Notice that my knees don't drop in, or I'm not on one side or the other. So just try and keep that weight nice and even. And the knees just bend. So when they bend, I'm not sticking the tailbone back, okay, and I'm not rounding. It's just a nice long spine to sit. And then I stand. Again, just sitting into the legs and then grow out of the legs. Bend into it and grow. Feel the arches lift as you stand. And as you bend, feel your toes widening. As you push and stand in the legs, lift through your center line, bending. Notice your peripheral line, yeah? So we're not letting it drop. Feel that widening as we sit. Then stand, still noticing divine line and the outside of the legs. Be strong. Bend and stand. Now, when you bend, let your right heel roll up off the floor. So I just roll through the ball of my foot. I then place it down and then stand. I bend and I roll my left heel up, place it down and stand. Bend, pick up the right foot, and this time we transfer, my foot comes off the floor. I then place the toe down, the ball and the heel, and stand. Bend and lift the left knee all the way up, place it down, toe, ball, heel, and stand. Bend and lift the right foot, coming all the way up, toe, ball, heel, down, and stand. Last time, bend, peel up, and lift the foot, toe, ball, heel, and stand. So now, as I bend, I lift the right foot, I stay into my bent left knee, but then I stand in that left knee. And as I bend, I tap my toe, and then I stand, and I bend, and I stand, bend, and stand. This time I bend, my toe goes down, my ball and my heel, and come center. Bend, lifting, left foot lifts, straighten the right leg. Then we bend and lift, bend and lift, bend and lift, bend, put the toe, the ball, the heel down, and come through center. Bring your weight forwards towards the front as you spiral your hands, lifting your heart, bring the breath in. Palms come together, lean into the back of the body and come back to your standing position. Transferring onto your hands and knees now. So if you need any support for the knees, you can either fold your mats up, or if you've got a cushion or something a bit more protective, or a little protective under the knees, there's always your option. When it comes to the wrists for this work, some of you may find that it does actually cause some discomfort. Sometimes that's just trying to, building a little bit more stability in the back so that we can support here rather than into the wrist. So I want you to really notice when you're on your hands and knees that your shoulder blades are coming down your back and almost push into the hands to lift up into your armpits. So we're keeping a nice width across the upper back. So the knees come underneath the hips, and we don't want the knees too wide, just hip distance apart. A sense of lengthening out through the crown of the head. Yeah, so we don't want the head to hang, we just want that length. So we're going to start by bringing our attention to the shoulder blades to begin with. And keeping your spine centered, just see if you can draw your shoulder blades towards each other. It's just like your breastbone is just moved towards the mat. I then push into my arms, widen my back, and spread the shoulder blades across the back. Soften to bring the shoulder blades together, and push to send them back. So it's just about the shoulder blades gliding across the back of the body, widening, and then drawing in towards the spine. The shoulders widen across the back and then soften in towards the spine. Widening and softening. So this time when you widen, we're going to pick up the right hand and the left knee. So I still push into my left arm, lift into my left armpit, and I lift my opposite hand and knee. I then come down and my shoulder blades come together. Push up as I reach up into my back. I then soften my shoulder blades together. As I push, I lift, I widen, opposite hand and knee is coming up, then softening down. Opposite hand and knee lift into the back and softening down. Push and widen the back. And then come center. So now I'm going to ask you to move into the sides of your body. So just kind of use your hands to push into the ribs on the right side, then into the other side. Now I don't want my hips to twist. I keep my hips level, and I'm just moving into the sides of my body. into the sides. Now, once you've gone to one side, we're going to soften the chest down, then go across to the other side and lift. We soften into the center and lift into the other side. Softening and lifting. Softening and lifting. Now we're going to go full circle. So I come down, I move into the side ribs. I come over the top. Then I move into the side ribs, move into my front ribs, pushing with the hands, over, side, down, side, and up. Change direction. Go to the side, move into the front ribs, across, side, back ribs, and again, beautiful circles, moving into those spaces. Then we come to center and find our hands and knees. Now our attention comes to the lower half of the body, so the pelvis. Let's just move the pelvis side to side, like a little pendulum. It's actually more like a dog wagging its tail. So we're just keeping the upper body still, swinging those hips side to side. So think of this coming from the waist. So here I'm getting length through this side and I'm shortening into the waist on the opposite side, moving side to side. Then coming to center, I curl my tail under and then send it back. So it's my tailbone tucks underneath, then I lift my tail, send it away. I can push into my arms to help here and pull into my arms to extend. Push down in the arms and the shins to tuck under, pull and extend. Now, as you curl, I'd just like your head to come down, your tailbone is under. And then as you come out of this, move your hips to the left, lift the tailbone and look over your left shoulder. So we get this sort of movement into the side of the body. I then bring this hip forwards and under. My head comes down, move across to the other side and lift and look right. My right hip comes forwards and under as my head lowers. I pendulum to the left, looking over my shoulder. Under and to the right, looking over my right shoulder, trying to look at my right hip. Then under, hip comes through, and there, extend. There's your in-breath, and now out-breath. There's your in-breath, and then out-breath. One more time. In-breath, looking up and over the shoulder, and then out-breath. Come center. Keep the head center, but keep your pelvis circling. So just a little bit more attention to the diagonals here. So we go into the diagonals. Don't forget the front diagonals, yeah? Then the back diagonals. Really trying to find new spaces around you, yeah? You might have to convince your body that it's okay to go there. So be mindful. And the other way around. So we move into the side and around, into the back, circling around, into the spaces, those diagonals. Bring attention to the front diagonals and then those back diagonals and center. Curl from your tailbone, your lower back, your middle back, and find your curl. And then we're just going to shift that weight back, curling back. Now I want you to stay in the curl and come over. Then as your weight comes over your hands, you lift your heart, you lift your chest, extend. I then push and I lean into my back. I bring my weight forward as my weight comes over my wrists. I soften my elbows and bring my heart and my gaze and my tailbone up. Yep, pushing and leaning back. Feel the space above you, lifting to touch the inside of this imaginary ball that you're in. Coming over the top. Let the heart lift, the gaze lift, and then dip down between your arms. Coming down for 1. And pushing up. Down for 2. And pushing up. Down for 3. Pushing up, and then round back, leaning into your back. We're going to do that again. So we come over the top, lifting heart, lifting gaze, and drop down into the upper body 3 times. And 2, and 1. Pushing up, rounding into the back. And this time as we come forwards, I'd like your left knee to come up towards your forehead, and you're going to hold it with your right hand. And then I lean, I'm pulling on that knee and I'm leaning into my back. I come down and the knee comes under. Left side pulls in the right knee, so my left hand, right knee pulls in. The top of my right foot is on the ground as I lean back, coming forwards, hands and knees. We're going to add into that. So I lift my right knee and I hold it with my right hand, leaning back. As I come forward, my left leg goes across the floor, my right hand comes forwards, and I extend, lifting the leg, lifting the arm, and feel like you're being stretched to the outside edges of the room. So I'm not looking for so much height, but more length. Then we bring the hand and knee back in. I bring up my right knee, left hand holds it as I lean back. The right foot slides across the floor, the left hand reaches, and I lengthen and grow, growing forwards, lengthening away, and hand and knee under. Right hand, left knee, we'll do it again. There's your out breath. Lengthen, lift, and rise on your in breath. And your out breath. In breath, and then out to lean back, other side. Glide the leg, lift the arm, lift your heart and open. Then bring it in. We'll do it 1 more each side. Knee to hand and lean into your back. Leg glides, right hand reaches, and we're really pushing into the supporting knee, the supporting hand, and finding length. Then we come down. Right hand, left knee, drawing into the back. Coming forward, extending, lengthening, grow. Then come back, center. Sit back on your heels and just breathe back. Just before we come down, we're going to do a little bit of work for the glutes. In fact, I think we'll do this side lying. So bring yourself onto your side. Head is supported on the bottom arm. Both knees are bent. But I'd like the knees to be in front of you. So we've got a 90-degree angle. We did this one earlier in the week for those that join me. Some of you may have watched that on demand. But we want to have that head supported, maybe a little cushion if that feels more comfortable. Try to think of the alignment of your body. So you've got your sacrum, your bra line, the base of the skull, and we want to encourage that line across the back of the body. So from here, the bottom leg stays bent and in touch, and I'm just going to lift my top leg a little way up and then pop it down. I'm not asking you to go as high as you can. I just want that knee to lift and lower. But more importantly, how that feels through here. I want the waistline to stay lifted so I'm not collapsed here. I feel like this thigh is being pulled out of my hip. Yeah, so I'm always asking for lengthening and lowering, lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering, lifting. Then we do some little pulses here. So we pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg all the way down. Now lift it up, and this time go as high as you can, up as high as you can, then bring it down. Again, lift the leg as high as you can and bring it down. Lift that leg as high as you can and bring it down. One more time. Lift, length, lift. Now from here, bring the knee down to the resting knee and then lift it up. Put the toe to your ankle. Then we go knee to knee and toe to ankle. Knee to knee and toe to ankle. Knee to knee and toe to ankle. Knee to knee, toe to ankle. Then your knee goes to your knee and we pulse it there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the knee, toe to ankle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knee to knee. Well done. So we're just going to try a side stretch here by coming onto the elbow. Now, the elbow, the shoulder position here is really what I want to notice, for you to notice today, so that we're not dropping into the shoulder here. Okay, we want to lift. I push into the elbow to lift up these ribs. Really important that we have that stability there to keep the shoulder nice and safe. Now, my left hand now, I'm going to take hold of whichever leg. It doesn't matter if you're not on the same side, but you're holding your foot with your hand. Okay, now this foot, I'm going to try and get the knee of my top leg to go behind my hip. I push my hand and my knee against each other, and then I turn and look over my right shoulder. So I want to notice the shoulder on the left opening out, the leg going back and looking over the right shoulder. I then bring this leg forward, and as it comes forward, I turn my hand, and my hand takes hold of the sole of my foot there. I then look to my tummy, I send that leg forward, and I push my foot and my hand against each other to lean into my back. Then I bring that leg in, and it goes behind, and I open and look over my right shoulder. My leg comes through, look into my navel, sending the leg away. I'm pushing with my foot, pulling with my hand. And then I come back in, the leg goes back, my heart opens, my left shoulder opens, and I look over my right shoulder. And release. Let's do all that on the other side. Well done. So all of that sideline stuff, if there is an issue with shoulders, if you want to, you can always just do a stretch with your quad here. Okay, this is always an option for any of that higher, sort of when we start to lift ourselves up off of the floor. So just remember that for future, or obviously on the next side. So we do need to be on our arm here now with our feet or our knees in front of us. So we have this 90-degree angle at the hip. I've got this sense of length under my waistline, and my head is supported nicely. Just notice your alignment, so we're not tucking our bottoms under, making sure we're aware of the pelvic position, the length, and this hip moving away, so that we have this sense of a piece of paper or a beam of light being able to shine underneath the waistline. From here, I lift the leg. It doesn't have to be massively high, just lifting and lowering. Again, thinking about just moving into the hip so we're not collapsing our waistline. That sense of the leg being drawn away from you. Lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. Good. Just make sure we're not holding the breath. Lifting. Nice. 2 more. And then at the top, little pulses there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down. Then lift the leg up as high as you can without the hips rocking back. And again, lift and lower. And lift and lower. Up. Good. Lift and up and up. And now hold it up. The knee comes down and then the toe taps the ankle. The knee touches the knee, the toe on the ankle. So knee and ankle, knee and ankle, knee and ankle, in and open, lower and open, lower pulse, there, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, knee opens, and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that knee to knee, rest it down. Popping up onto the elbow. Again, noticing that line underneath, or the lifting of the ribs. As I said just a second ago, if the elbow isn't happy or the shoulder's not happy here, for whatever reasons, we can do this lying down. Very similar. So now the top hand, we take hold with the foot. And again, still pushing down, I let my right knee, as much as I can, let it go behind the hip. My right shoulder opens as it goes back, and I look, and I just turn my head. So I'm not looking and throwing my head back this way. It's just a turn down towards that shoulder. Pushing foot and the knee against each other. Then that leg comes in, and my hand turns to the sole of my foot. I look down to my tummy and I lean into my back. I push my foot and my hand against each other, and I get a great stretch underneath my shoulder blade here. Really nice. And you're probably feeling that in the legs and all sorts of places. Lots of lines of pull going on. Okay, so just listen and feel where that stretch is working for you. Opening as you look over the shoulder. Then coming forwards, there's your out breath push. Just watch the legs not too high here. We want to push forwards and lean. I'm looking at my tummy and pushing with my foot and pulling with my hand. Then it comes back, in and behind, and I open as I look over my left shoulder. The leg comes forwards, and now return, lie on your backs, please. So hands by the side. A few breaths here. Tailbone lifts, lower back, middle back as you peel yourself up into your bridge. And your arms are going to go back behind you. They reach back. Once those hips, those arms, sorry, my microphone, I hope I'm not deafening you. Once those arms are back, we roll down through the spine, all the way down, through to the tailbone. And then the arms come back to your side. So I'm just going to do that again with a little bit more intention. Heels to sit bones, wide across the front of the body, widen the back ribs into the mat. Then stand in the legs, lift your tail, lower, middle, and upper. The knees go forwards, we gather through the sit bones. Reach your arms down, turn the palms and reach them to the ceiling. Reach, 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 all the way back. When they're there, reach back like your arms are being pulled. Then roll down, roll down.
Just Facebook.
Keep lengthening, keep finding every millimeter of length through that spine. Then the arms like you're pushing them through that. Hands by the side. We're going to add in, so taking it up into the bridge, lengthening, lifting, widening. Arms come up. This time, actually, let's keep the arms back to the side. We're going to send the right leg up to the ceiling. The leg goes long. Now I roll down. And as I roll down, I bend my knee and I curl my head up. My hands are on the floor and reaching down towards the bottom of the mat. I then pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My left leg goes out long, really lengthen out through the leg. Then I pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then my right leg stretches to the ceiling and I pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both knees come in, head down, and arrive back. On the other side then. So from your lying positions, tail, lower, middle, and upper. Inhale, then exhale, and that left leg comes up, lengthens to the ceiling, like you're pulling that foot up. Imagine I'm still holding the ankle as you start to roll down. As you roll down, start to massage the spine as your head comes up. The knee comes into your forehead. And we pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right leg lengthens out. Pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, left leg up to the ceiling. Pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both knees in and down. Head and shoulders down. Open your arms. Knees together. Right over left. Bring your knees over to the right as your left shoulder stays down. Pull it across. Then your left side draws you back to center. Then you go to the other side, pull those knees across, and then you roll back to center. Go across to the right, reach and keep that left shoulder down. And then come back to center. 12 full circles. So not this time, sorry, go to the left, right shoulder down. And then my right side pulls me back. I go to the right. My left hand comes down past my hip, over my hip, in front of me. That arm then circles above my head. When it's here, I get a little bit of length. Then the arm comes back, and I circle round and onto my back, arriving back center. Go to the left, and my right hand comes down, circles overhead. Big stretch here with the ribs, find that length. Then I go back and arrive. Lying flat. Let's cross the legs the other way. Same thing. Wide as my knees go to the right. My left shoulder, ribs pull me back. Legs go to the left. My left leg is taking me there. It's asking it, how far can we go? Then my right side pulls me back straight into our circle. Knees go to the right, left arm down, reaching in front, reach, 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 then over, find the length. Heart softens as the back ribs come down and onto the back. Let's go the other way. Across to the left, right hand down past my hip, reaching in front. Find a space there, and then roll onto the back. Uncross the legs, let your legs go long. how you're feeling. Notice your breath and keep that natural rhythm of your breath. So it's in through the nose. Out. Invite the breath into the abdomen. Allowing the body to be completely supported by your ground. Let the hips soften, the shoulders relax. Feeling a sense of softness through the legs. So you're welcome to stay and rest for a few moments longer. I'm going to say goodbye and thank you for joining me today. Please leave any comments, any feedback on the Facebook group if you're a member. If not, please just message me personally. I hope to see you either in the next class if you're sticking around for both of them. Alternatively, I'll see you on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you.